Hello and welcome to this next video in the series where I learn to play and develop a Nurgle team, which is a new experience for me. Mixed success so far, some ups and downs, and next up is Goblins. So one of the reasons I decided to bring what I consider to be a really challenging team in Nurgle into this league is because this Goblin team exists, and there's also a Kislev Circus team in the league that I've mentioned before as well. So people are bringing challenging teams into this league. And I thought there was space for another one for me to try something new, to bring a team in that I'm not expecting to win games in, and see if I can get it to work. And I was matched up against Goblins, which is interesting. It turned out to be one of the most fun and most frustrating games I've played in a long time. Stand by for some mayhem, which you kind of expect from Goblins. This is another game where I really struggled to keep players on the pitch and suffered for it quite a bit. It became difficult to do what I wanted, but my opponent just played really well, was really efficient at getting my players off the pitch, and made it really hard for me to play. Some really interesting level ups in this team. So it's 15 players, most of them are sort of unleveled goblins. 2 trolls, which you'd expect. Both of them have Juggernaut, which is a really interesting choice. It's really interesting to see an early double on a troll that they didn't take block for, because there's a frenzy troll, and they both have Juggernaut. So we're going to look. I need to look out for blitzing trolls to make use of Juggernaut. One of them with frenzy as well. They're both going to be dangerous players for me. Other advances we've got sort of a goblin with catch, a goblin with diving tackle, a goblin with sidestep, things like that you kind of expect to see. Pogoa has Hail Mary Pass, which I thought was a really weird and interesting choice to see. But yeah, the Goblins got some mileage out of that in this game though. So yeah, it was interesting to see. I saw that and was like, well, I wouldn't do that, but yeah, it's good. It's going to work for some people, and it worked a bit here. I've got the sort of standard secret weapons to try and deal with the Goblin team. I've not played against them very often, and things going into it, I need to look out for was that the weapons are going to be dangerous, if unpredictable, and potentially dangerous to the Goblins. They were out team valuing me by about 20, so I knew there weren't going to be any bribes, so they can't afford any. So I wanted to look at quick drives to get the secret weapons off the pitch as potentially the best way to deal with them, but because I can't score quickly, that's definitely a challenge that I'm going to struggle with. So let's get into the game anyway, and we'll see. We'll have a look at the lineups once we get to the kickoff. Okay, so at the kickoff we've rolled a cheering fans. Both teams getting an extra reroll. Kick straight into that pogo up. And we have the Fanatic kicking us off. But let's have a quick look at the team. So I'm defending. The Goblins won the toss, chose to receive. So I'm kicking here from this side. And we can't get the skills up. Never mind. Right, so quick look through. I'm back up to 4 Pestigore. So my unlevelled ones on these sort of back corners here. Russell one here, ready to play defensively. Block one here, ready to try and make blitzes. 3 rots on the line, the only 3 rots I got available because I had 2 out injured. So I've got an armour 7 one and one with wrestle, all on the line. 3 block warriors, so 1, 2 and 3 on that corner, and the unlevelled one there. Still no star player points for that guy. Not been in the team as long as the others. So they've gone sort of heavy on one flank, so I can expect the attack to be spearheaded by this pair of trolls down this side. We've already looked at those, so one with Juggernaut, one with Frenzy and Juggernaut. Fanatic in the middle, which it's ideally placed because it can get too nice on any of these. And then we've just got Goblins over here, all unlevelled I think. Bombardier over here, so protected, far enough forward to be able to start chucking bombs. Goblins over here to help with really stupid rolls, so right next to the trolls. Got a diving tackle there, a catch there, and a sidestep there. So the 3 levelled Goblins, hanging out with the trolls. 3 unlevelled Goblins protecting the Bombardier. The Pogo back here, who's on the ball. And yeah, let's watch this behind the goblins. Yeah, straight away Fnatic throwing 2 blocks. So some good roll in there. Only gets a push on the important player, no injuries. And we have yeah, engaging as many players down here as I can. Trolls working together. And we've got the Juggernaut Frenzy one. Yeah, coming to put that warrior down and a knockout straight away. So marking up these rotters means I can't really put them where I want to very easily. Means they're going to have to start swatting at goblins. Ball heading this way. Right, so first bit of funniness. So I've intercepted that bomb, which is helpful. First thoughts when I do that, I'm throwing it at a troll. Troll's not going to catch it, and the bomb goes off there. That's a troll down, and then 4+ for all these players around it. So one of my players, but 5 goblin players. But the troll catches it. So 2 6s for interceptions. And now the bomb comes back at me. Fail to intercept it and get a stun and a knockout. So that's 2 players knocked out in turn 1. Now both of those players don't come back for a very long time, and it's the beginnings of me starting to really struggle with coping with this game. So the Bombardier has to go, and a knockout effectively puts him out of the game because he'll be sent off for the next drive even if he returns. So we got a moment of hilarity out of the Bombardier before he went. I was looking at, can I get a decent sort of 2 dice block on the Fnatic to try and get rid of that as well, but it was going to be too many players. Have to make a dodge in the end to make sure I've got a defensive player down here who can react. End up throwing an uphill block at the Fnatic, just get a push on it. With a block player, that's relatively safe. So that's pretty unfortunate on the Fnatic, and an early turnover, which helps. So we're down, it's 9 players each at the moment, so it's not like I struggled removing players in this game. I definitely put a lot of goblins off the pitch, but they had a bench and I didn't, which turned out to be the real difference in this one. So the injuries to rotters I picked up in the last game were sort of more telling for this game than they might otherwise have been. So yep, got a blitz in on the ball carrier, but know that a goblin can still pick the ball up and get through a gap, so keeping my wrestle beastman back, Pestigor back there. Because I know I struggled to score with this Nurgle team, I'd rather they didn't score at all than me try and win 2-1, like I said about in the Lisbon game. Okay, so ball back in Goblin hands and then caging up behind that troll. There's no way of me getting at it next turn. And yeah, blitz on my Pestigor from a Goblin. So now pinned against the touchline. and stunned. And yeah, a lot of successful dodges, so really firmly protected ball. I'm looking at, because I've got some quite high strength players, it's not that difficult for me to get 2 dice on a troll here, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm pretty sure this warrior comes and blitzes the troll. Then yeah, just keeping that sweeper back in there still. Okay, so some unfortunate ones there. A foul appearance and then a really stupid, so I lost their blitz on the foul appearance, which is pretty useful. But the ball's getting forwards, and I was looking all the way through this turn, counting squares from this Pestigore, looking at 2 dice blitz on the ball carrier. I was pleased to see this square remained unprotected at the end, because I think I do get the ball carrier down again, but because I'm so slow and I've got a bit bogged down in here, yeah, I don't have a lot else I can do. Even if I take this ball carrier down, there's still got plenty of other players who can come pick it up and run it in. So something I'm still not adjusting to is how slow my players are, and I need to sort of defend a bit deeper. And I'm a football fan, or soccer if you insist, and sort of know this part of the strategy from that. Like, if you have slower defenders, you need to defend deeper. But I haven't translated that into Blood Bowl yet. Yeah, probably something I need to watch out for more. Is yeah, making sure I can react to attacks better. Getting a knockout on a troll is very helpful, especially because I think that troll doesn't come back for the next drive. Do get the blitz on the ball carrier. Have to use a reroll, but with wrestle, unfortunately, means my furthest back player is now prone. Another removal, but the bounce going straight to the Pogoer means decent chance to just score this turn without even making a dodge. I think just one go for it roll, and that's 1-0. So really didn't defend effectively there, and this I had players removed, but I didn't concede the touchdown there because I didn't have enough players. It was because I didn't use the ones I had well enough. Sort of got sucked into sort of a blocking game high up the pitch, and yeah, I just got outflanked by too many goblins for me to deal with. So I think it was that 3 knockouts each and nobody come back, or two for me. So we're starting to look, no, yeah, 2 knockouts for me, and now we get the secret weapon sent off. But I think we have the fanatic coming, the loony coming on now rather. Yeah, so four players out for the goblins means their chainsaws now on. And I've got 4 turns to score, which is, yeah, with how much I've struggled to score with this team is quite a big ask. I think, or I've found it difficult, because we've got a troll sort of left of centre for the goblins over here, and the chainsaw over here. I want to make sure I'm attacking down this side. So the warrior's here to try and start knocking back goblins. I should have gone more on diagonals, so here, here and here, and blocked that way to push that way and sort of sweep around this way. But I went a bit straight on with my warriors, and yeah, I think looking at it again would have been helpful to to have positioned him a bit more to my left. Actually, switch sides, go behind my team for this this drive. Goblins got a lot of mileage out of having dodge on their defending blocks in this game, which, I mean, you'd expect. You'd expect that, really. I wanted to make sure I drop my Armour 7 Rotter in here to be the sort of the only player the troll could really blitz. It's just sort of an extra layer of protection for the ball. Yeah, so it's my 9 players against their 11, but it just looks like, I know they're only Goblins. Sort of having a lot of strength 2 players on the other side gives you a bit of hope you can burst through them, but there's so many of them, and if they stand off, it's only 1 a turn I can take down. I do get left some blocks, but it's going to be a bit of a grind trying to get through. Like 6, it's still 6 players, even if they are only strength 2 players. And yeah, with dodge as well, it's tricky to get through. And the coach defended this drive really well. So don't like having to lead off with a single dice hit, single dice block, but it kind of set up what I needed to do next, which was move this Goblin. I wanted to blitz from here. If I can get that Goblin down, come and engage the pogo, I've got a bit of space I can try and move the ball into. Do have to watch out for the chainsaw on the blitz. There probably is a way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 go for it. So it's 2 go for it at the moment, but if they can move this beast man, that's an easier one. I'll set it up to have a go at him, get him down. That's frustrating knockout. Doesn't take the blitz with the chainsaw. I think it basically came down to blitzing with the troll or the chainsaw. But it doesn't do that either. Oh no, it was the troll was blitzing. It just didn't have the little lightning bolt symbol. So that's yeah. This is really not leaving me a lot on. But leaving that player down, so I was looking at what I was going to be able to do is I'd have to block this player, hope I can knock him over, and then I've got a dodge there, and then here to blitz the chainsaw, knock him back and carry on running down, and then hope I can get some other players through somehow, maybe mark up with these to force dodges. Is kind of all I'm being really being left with, and I've got 2 turns. I have to get him forward this turn because yeah, he can't reach yet, so he has to be getting forward this turn to be able to score. But left this Goblin laying down, which actually potentially caused me more problems, because it meant I didn't have an easy dodge out here. I was considering like it'd be a bit of a long shot, but throwing to this Rotter to run in instead. But I don't have an easy dodge out in this direction to come round and make that throw. And yeah, this Goblin just laying here blocks this Pestigore from being able to come blitz down here. So I have to make the dodge, which is a relief, and no dodge on the Ludi. Just can get him down, and another injury as well. So I did all right for star player points for casualties in this game as well, actually. But I'm having to now make another dodge here because this Goblin had to stay laying down. But yeah, it's quite limited stuff. I did manage to get rid of the chainsaw, so he's going to have to blitz me with a Goblin. but with enough assists, that's just as dangerous as any other player doing it, really. Any other player without block, anyway. So that's 1 assist, only a 1 dice. Not quite enough. So it's forcing me to dodge, and if you're forcing, I said this to the coach in a Facebook comment earlier. If you're forcing Nurgle teams to dodge, you're going to do all right, because Nurgle teams can't dodge, really not effectively. I mean, obviously no worse than other Agility 3 teams, but I think it's sort of the ethos of dodging with Nurgle just doesn't sit right with me, and yeah, I'm not happy dodging with any player on this team. What I've really got on, I mean, the ideal thing: blitz this Goblin, knock him over, follow up is a free dodge. If I don't knock him over, I've still got a dodge anyway. And I knew there was a diving tackle Goblin somewhere on this team. Turned out it wasn't any of these players. He's over here. There he is. Okay, so that, yeah, I was looking at the time, do I follow up or not? Because I do only get a push on this. It took me ages to decide where I was going to follow up, because I was checking every player around me to see where the diving tackler was and couldn't find him. But yeah, failed the dodge. So if either that block or that dodge had come off, it would have been 1-1 at half time. As it turned out, both were unsuccessful. Yeah, going to the break behind. So, no knockout returns. That's 3 players knocked out now, including my important block Pestigore. So 8 players. I've got to try and score with 8 players with a team that I struggled to score with. I've got 4 Goblins out of the game. Well, one sent off, 3 injured. The Fanatic injured himself. But I'm facing 11 players, and that's 11 lot of 11 bunches of 9 squares that I can't move through. Is more of an obstacle than anything else about them, and I make a bit of a mistake in this turn, but I mean, you'll see what happens. But basically, something really stupid and frustrating and annoying happens in this turn, which means I end up losing the game 2-0. Is the bottom line. So I might as well just ruin the score now. It's also quite funny what happened here. So my Pestigore, who I want to score with, couldn't reach the ball. I wanted to guard it up for a turn to make sure the Goblins can't get at it. Pick it up next turn and then carry on. At this point, being down players, knowing that I struggled to score, I'm playing for a draw. I want to make sure I score this half. Now, this is the stupid thing I did. I wanted to move this rotter here. I just clicked on it. Totally didn't notice the fact that his path was taking him across the ball, which meant he was going to have to try and pick him up. I didn't want to try and pick it up this turn. As soon as I let go and he's walking that way, I was like, oh, he's going to pick the ball up. Which if he did, that's fine. I'll just try and score with him. But he fouled it, and I was like, he's pretty protected here. I'm not going to waste a reroll. But the ball ends where the ball ends up, with all these foul catches and bouncing off of that body over there. This is my attack gone. I had a go at attacking for half of the first half. I don't get another chance to attack in this game because the sort of improbable path that ball took to be ended up next to a troll surrounded by goblins who can just come pick it up. I think they take it over here and they eventually score again. So yeah, make it nice and safe over here. All my players are going this way to attack. And there becomes not a lot I can do about it. I have to try and hold them up here. And that's where we are. So I've got a lot of players free, but none of them are quick. And so I have to make sure I get my quickest players far back as I can to be able to react, to be able to pick off any goblins trying to find their way through. But I need as many players over here as possible, basically. Trying to make sure I can pick on goblins to try and even the numbers up a bit more. Trying to make sure I'm hitting them with warriors, and also trying to clear goblins away from the troll. There's one in behind, of course, but if you can keep goblins away from the trolls, it makes their really stupid rolls harder. Is one of the ways of trying to deal with them, but I'm so outnumbered it just becomes really hard to do that. Game and recovers as well, but is missing for this drive. So I'm down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players and 1 stun. Seven players. So that's a handoff. It's a disturbing presence, making that a failure. And dropping the ball. So a slight glimmer of hope here, although there's not really a lot I can do to get at the ball. I've got a Pestigore down here who can come blitz the Pogoer. Which is probably the safest move I had, and potentially the most important. Didn't want him to go down, so I used a reroll, because he would have wrestled. And I'm also needing to get players off the pitch as well, so wrestling players down is not a lot of help to me. So there's this goblin over here who, having knocked the ball loose, I kind of decided to ignore, which turned out to be not a great idea. Let's say this is the goblin who scores later in this half. Got a bit desperate and made a 1 dice block on the troll before, which, you know, was a skull. And yeah, this Pestigore in here is getting a bit bogged down in goblins. So now this is where I pointed out the Pogoer had Hail Mary pass, and this is the strategy he has around it. So if I'll pick up there, rerolls to get it, but then fumbles this pass. Because this player is so isolated and I've got no one anywhere near him. Chucking an inaccurate pass over there is fine. I got fortunate with a fumble there, but I've got no one free who I can get back and get on this player. All I can really do is try and get the ball difficult to pick up by getting tackle zones on it, but pushing back onto the ball just pushed it away from me. If it was down here somewhere, I'd have felt a bit safer about it. But yeah, I'm just pushing back goblins. And yeah, no one's free to come mark up this goblin or put any pressure on at all. With just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, still got 7 players at the moment, but that does reduce further. and everyone is stuck in this big grind over here. And you'd think against a Goblin team, if you're doing a sort of attritional grind blocking game sort of thing, that you'd be coming out on top. But yeah, we're so outnumbered and out of position that yeah, we're just stuck in here. And now this Goblin's just a pick up away from scoring. And I've still got everyone marked. I don't want to be dodging with rotters, and I don't have the speed to make much difference yet anyway. Another injury there, so I'm doing alright for star player points from casualties in this game. I think more than any other game here, which you might expect against Goblins. And yeah, that both down. Unhelpful, but I think at this point I knew all I really had on was star player points from casualties. And I rolled lots of badly hurts, which honestly is my favourite injury to roll. I don't like, just maiming other teams. Happy to put them out for the game and take the points, but I don't want to ruin other people's teams really. I know a lot of people have a sort of take some sadistic delight in killing players, but people work hard to put teams together. I don't want to just tear them down. Yeah, so ball in hands and has absolutely no reason to score. Honestly, I'm not putting enough pressure on. This rotter is now free to move though, so I've finally got someone who I can move over here and force a touchdown. And yeah, put some pushes together and gets this guy off. I had no idea why this came up as injured and then immediately dead, because Pestigores don't have decay, so I didn't roll 2 injuries. But yeah, it did. So he died, but fortunately Nurgle helped him out, because I really couldn't have done with another dead Pestigore to be replacing. Yeah, so down to 6 players. He'll be able to reach for a blitz next turn. And then I'll be looking at 2 turns to try and score, which is really slim chances. I was making all these blocks with a rotter still laying on the floor. He should be getting up. I think I was considering a foul on the troll, but it wasn't a good enough roll for me, and it's so late in the game. It's not really going to make a lot of difference if I get him off the pitch. So we get the touchdown run in. Finally get some knocked out players back. A bit late, lads. But yeah, so that's still 10 players. I've got a last attack with 10 players to try and do. I've put a lot of Goblins off the pitch, of course, so that puts them down to 9. So I'm finally outnumbering them, but I've only got 2 turns. But there's a bit of a chance I can do that, so I want a Pestigore as far forward as they're the quickest players. So I want one as far forward as possible over here. I don't know why I've gone this way rather than... I guess because there are more Goblins this side and they're a bit quicker. I want as clear a run as possible down here. So I've got players back here. I'm trying to cover all the space the ball could land in, because I'm going to need to make a pass. Unless I get a touchback, and I can just give it to this guy. But yeah, basically I need to make a pass, and I need space to be able to chuck the ball to that Pestigore. Goblins run a blitz, of course, so they can go get some pressure on the ball straight away. do have the slight bonus that both the trolls are on the line of scrimmage for this drive, so it means they can't act in this blitz. Yeah, don't quite get on the ball. So the things I was concerned about in that blitz was getting somebody under the ball to try and catch it, and getting in my way over here. I've still got a clear run over here. I've got this rotter who can come pick the ball up and chuck it. So the important thing this turn is to do that, make that pass. Ideally, because it's turn 15, I want someone who can reach the end zone. So that should perhaps be a priority, but I want to make the throw as easy as possible because it's not a strong part of my game at all. So I need to throw it to him before I move, which means if the pass goes wrong, I've got no one who can score, and that's kind of what happens, really. Excuse me. So stun of the troll's helpful. And I've got players who I can screen with here, so I'm setting up to be able to get this last touchdown in. I've got rerolls left. Fail the pickup, need a reroll, and still fail the pickup. So that's it. It's going to finish 2-0, and yeah, really that's the lot. Nothing else happens in this game, I don't think. Except that thing where I try and get a star player point out of a pass. I think that actually comes off in this game. Like the one thing that goes right. Yeah, so the last thing I've got is just making a pass, and even that's not plain sailing. But does finally come off. It means I have a Pestigore on 3 points, so he's one touchdown away from levelling. So next match is the Pestigore I want to score a touchdown with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I could probably have started skipping ahead before now. So also blitz from really stupid, and then yeah, called it there. So yeah, frustrating. Couple of moments of higher hilarity, which are sort of things you sort of expect against goblins. One of them, the weird things about it, I was really effective physically at getting players off the pitch. Let's look at the injuries, like 5 injuries inflicted. It's really solid stuff. Knockouts, I don't know. I had 3 players knocked out, so I'm not sure that third one's gone unless it's maybe the bomb doesn't count or something. But those 3 knockouts staying knocked out for so long, leaving me short, just made it really difficult to play. It's something I keep returning to because it's happened in 2 games now, particularly where I've just been so short of players that I can't do what I need to, especially when I'm trying to attack short on players. I don't have enough players to screen. I don't have enough speed to deal with the defensive players and get the ball round them or through them or anything. Dice rolling stuff that suggests a more fortunate game than I had, but you know, it's things like this 6 failed wake up after knockout things. That was a real key a real key part of that game. I think, maybe it still would have gone badly if I'd had all my players, but I think I'd have felt better about the game because I wouldn't have felt so restricted by just being so outnumbered by goblins the whole time. And goblins need to be outnumbering you, and when they gang up on you, they could just be just as dangerous as any other players. Low on pickups as well. Frustrating. Having to make a lot more dodges than I want to. That one failed dodge was the key one that meant I didn't score before half time. But yeah, like I said, that was a really well defended drive that forced me into making moves I didn't want to. And when they don't come off, you can't really complain. When they're things you don't want. So making the goblins roll a lot more dice than me, which is always my aim. Always like to be rolling less dice than the opponent, fewer dice. But yeah, a lot of these rolls, so 27 of those rolls are really stupid, and that's and foul appearance and things like that is really gonna add to those numbers. So I think like we said before, it's just a lot of dice rolling is built into having a big guy or playing against the Nurgle team just with foul appearance. You're forcing people to roll dice that way. There's more things that can go wrong, and once that worked, it's in this match, which isn't bad for the numbers really. I'm just waffling now though. So the team at the moment, I didn't have anyone level up. Didn't really have to recruit. I'm looking to recruit a Beast of Nurgle next anyway, so that's I'll tell you, they're 150, 140. So it's going to be a while. I'll probably expect 2 to 3 games at least before I can afford a Beast of Nurgle, providing I don't need to replace anybody else as well. Do have my 2 reserve rotters back next time, so I'm going to have a bench again, back up to 13 players from the next game. No idea who I'm playing next, but yeah, it'll be sometime next week. We'll have the next video up as I continue to try and learn how to handle this team and hope for something a bit less frustrating. See you next time.